Hello and welcome to this game day edition of Rebels247 Roundtable. I'm David Johnson along with Webb Lewis and Brandon Red. And guys, just a few hours to kick off to game number 2. The Ole Miss Rebels hosting the Southeast Missouri Redhawks. So here we have it, those dreaded FCS football teams rolling back into Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. But guys, let's be honest. This Saturday's going to shake out a lot different.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty excited today to see how these guys play. And obviously, with SEMO running the option, Ole Miss has been working all week on stopping the option. It should be a kind of a quick game. You expect a lot of runs today, but I expect Ole Miss to light up the scoreboard heavily.
Guys, I'm a big fella, and if I'm the quarterback for Southeast Missouri, and I know that I'm going to be running this Nebraska-style offense. And in that Nebraska-style offense, you take the ball and you run and you set your sights on the between the numbers of that defensive end, who's not going to be blocked. And he's taught that when he sees you coming, whether you got the ball or not, to annihilate you. I'm tweaking an ankle in practice going into this game if I'm the quarterback for Southeast Missouri.
Says something about Webb's courage there.
Yeah, we know a lot more about Webb.
Yeah.
Kickoff tonight set for 6 o'clock inside Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. Guys, over 41,000 season tickets sold. The student tickets gone. How many do you expect inside the Vaught tonight?
Usually for these games, there's about 56,000. But with this being the only game until October at home, I expect a big crowd tonight. I expect the red and blue fans to show up and be loud, after such a thrilling win a couple Thursdays ago in Nashville. I really do expect a big crowd. I'm going to say 59,000. That's a rough estimate. I don't know. That's a guess.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a packed house. I really do, simply because the excitement level, I don't know if it's ever been greater than it is right now with Ole Miss football. An opportunity to go 2-0 at home. You're not going to get a taste of these guys for a while. In most cases, you haven't gotten a taste of Robert Condici in person. This Laquan Treadwell, who wants to be on hand when he sacks a quarterback and gets up and throws up his first land shark in the Vaught-Hemingway Stadium? I'm thinking 60.
Okay, guys, keys to this matchup tonight. For Ole Miss, I got one simple key. Don't trip over your own feet. That's all you got to do tonight. I'm not trying to be brash about the prospects of this game, but I don't see anybody on that Southeast Missouri roster that will be able to cover Dante Moncrief or Laquan Treadwell, that will be able to apply pressure to Bo Wallace. Guys, this ought to be pitch, catch, hand it off, take it to the house all night long.
My question to the team, if I were to talk to them right before kickoff, would be, where's your focus at? If you have even halfway decent focus for this game tonight, you would expect Ole Miss to score a lot. And personally, I don't expect SEMO to score much. Running an option with slower players, not a very good offensive line. You hear a lot about SEC speed. Well, in the option, you try to get to the edge. But with the SEC speed, will these SEMO Redhawks be able to get to the edge? Highly doubtful. As long as Ole Miss is focused, kind of like what you were saying, David, I expect a big win tonight.
You got to execute. It's all about coming out and executing, staying healthy, doing what you got to do, taking care of business, and going to the house. Look, this isn't a game to go out and get cued in or anything like that. You run your offense. You put up 45 in the first half. You bring in these young guys, get them some touches in the second half, and you go home.
Ole Miss opened with a 39-35 road win against a quality SEC opponent. Southeast Missouri, meanwhile, opened up with a 45-7 road loss to FCS Southeastern Louisiana. Guys, there's just, you want to make a matchup interesting. Right. But to me, interesting in this is how many points will the Rebels score tonight? I know the history. I know it very well. We were trailing to an FCS team at halftime last year. Central Arkansas leading the Rebels at the half. Well, the year before, Southern Illinois rolls into Oxford and outgains Ole Miss in total offense that night. The year before, well, we all remember that very well. Season opening double overtime loss to Jacksonville State. This is not the same football program in Oxford, Mississippi any longer. This game will go the way that 99.9% of America thinks it will go.
You know, a lot of times you hear a team kind of takes on the persona of their head coach, which I totally agree with. This Ole Miss team is kind of like Coach Freeze in the fact that they're confident, they believe in themselves, and they know that if they play their game, that they're going to win a football game. And like we've been saying this morning, as long as Ole Miss plays their game against SEMO, it should be Katie bar the door.
Look, like you said, David, this is a completely different Ole Miss team than that one in 2010 that lost to Jacksonville State. But let me say this, too. That Jacksonville State team would beat this Southeast Missouri team by several touchdowns. Southeast Missouri is an FCS school, but it's also not a very highly ranked FCS school either. I mean, I don't know how else to paint this picture. It should be ugly. It should be.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, you can kind of tell the value a university places on their football program by how long it takes for the coach's seat to get hot. And Southeast Missouri head coach Tony Samuel, his seat may very well be hot, guys, but his record at Southeast Missouri, 28-52 overall, 17-38 in the Ohio Valley Conference. That wouldn't stand at any SEC school.
No, it wouldn't.
He had been gone 3 years ago in an SEC school. And it just shows you, like you said, the lack of pressure, which means SEMO isn't putting the most emphasis on their football program.
Now, this SEMO offense has been compared to the Tom Osborne era Nebraska Cornhusker attack, and that's what it is without the players.
It's the same plays.
Right.
Yeah, not the personnel.
And you know, let's close with this, guys. What is it with the blackouts? You know, you go to Vanderbilt and they try to pull a blackout of their stadium, so that's cool, all right. But it didn't work because there was a lot of shades of red inside Commodore Stadium. And then, you know, lo and behold, you come home to the Vault and the road team's trying to pull one at Southeast Missouri, encouraging their fans to wear black so that their fan base stands out inside Vaught-Hemingway Stadium tonight.
You know, I might be wrong, guys, but I just don't expect a huge crowd from SEMO tonight.
I think you're going to see a lot of red, and there'll be dozens of people in black T-shirts, I'm sure, but I don't get that either. I mean, you're going to a road SEC game, you're an FCS school. What kind of impact you hoping to have by blacking out Vaught-Hemingway Stadium?
It's like being the fat kid in the schoolyard and mama sends you to school wearing a shirt that says nerd, pick on me.
Yeah.
And what happens? He gets picked on.
Picked on. I was once that fat kid in the schoolyard.
I was always that fat kid in school.
Ole Miss loses this game. We'll come back on after it and do another podcast apologizing.
No doubt about it. Meanwhile, it's game day. We got stuff to do. You got to hit the road. Get ready to go to the Vault. That's going to do it for this special game day edition of the Rebels 247 Roundtable.